Even you a little tired after the last 13 games?
Um, yeah, I mean it'll be nice to get little bit of rest. Yeah, obviously, it was a lot of hockey. Last I think, 13 playoff games, pretty much playing every other day. So it'll be nice to get, a couple of days of rest. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I got a lot of energy, but yeah, at times, you need some rest. I was pretty tired this morning.
The coaches have talked about staying calm, staying cool. You guys, everybody reports at the locker room was that's what you did in the first and second intermissions in the overtime. How important is it when that succeeds? Like when what you're doing works, it just seems like that helps going forward.
Yeah, it's huge. I think kind of as that game went on, I think we kind of started to find our game more and more, and I think we had that confidence kind of in the overtime periods that if we just keep playing our game, keep chipping away, we'll get our chances and we'll be able to vary one of them. So yeah, it's great when that works obviously, and I think overall we're just have a lot of patience and just kind of trust what we're doing, and we don't feel the need to force anything.
Have these two series proven how hard it is to win in the Stanley Cup? And then, I mean, I think that's got to put doubt in your head at some point in time. So then to have that confidence seems like a really good thing.
Yeah. I mean, played two really really good teams, and I mean it's not easy to win even one game in the playoffs, let alone a full series. So yeah, I mean we obviously have a lot of confidence, and we obviously know it's not easy, but yeah, it's definitely good to be able to beat two really amazing teams so far.
After the game last night, Matt Duchene said he obviously wants to win a cup for himself, but even more so wants to win it for the guys in the room next to him. He cited Jamie and Joe and Pete himself. And what is it about this team that makes you guys so close knit and want to go to battle like that together?
I think there's a number of things. I think the biggest thing is just how good of people all these guys are, and everyone here. I think obviously I think Jim knows a big part of that, just bringing in a lot of really good people, and yeah, I mean Dutchy is right with that. There's you really want to win for yourself, but there's a lot of people that kind of helps with that. Trying to win for yeah, all the guys in the room, just guys have been so close, and haven't got that done yet, and yeah, I mean I think the biggest thing is just how good of people, as Dutchman like Pavs, Chubbs, Suits, Pete, and I mean everyone.
What have you learned about Joe's journey just living there? And I mean, 1,300 games, it's really even hard to fathom. And so coming up on 20 years, basically.
Yeah, I mean I've learned a lot. Yeah, I mean yeah, you mentioned he's played a lot of games, played a lot of playoff games, made some really long runs, and he's always been a guy to perform when it matters, and just kind of has that clutchness in him, and yeah, I mean I think he's a pretty good example of how hard it is to win a Stanley Cup. Seems like I think he missed. I was talking to him recently, and I don't know if I'm right, but maybe missed the playoffs maybe twice in his career, or something like that. And so I mean that's it's a lot of playoff runs, it's a lot of playoff games, and that he hasn't been able to get it done just kind of shows I think how hard it is. But also he has that experience, and I think he's a big guy. When we're going into the third period last night and in overtime, and he's one of the guys that's just stay calm, just keep playing our game, keep chipping away, and it'll all work out if we do that.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yes.
Sorry. This is Pete's seventh trip to the third round and 9 playoff appearances. Have you gotten a sense of him as a coach in the playoffs, like how he prepares for one opponent night after night? Anything he can describe behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done just a really good job with kind of making adjustments. Obviously, that's a lot of what playoffs is about, kind of making those adjustments each day, each game, and so I think yeah, he and the coaching staff well has done a really good job with that stuff, and yeah, I mean, I think just I don't know the way he gets us ready to play, and just the systems. I think that's been a big part. I think he's getting us to play the right way, and has everyone bought into to what really matters. And yeah, I think there's a number of things. He's obviously unbelievable coach.
Edmonton and Vancouver play tonight. You guys don't know your opponent yet. Are you going to watch, and are you rooting for any particular outcome, or just hoping it goes for a full 7?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be nice for it to go 7, maybe get a couple more days of, be able to kind of rest and recover. Yeah, obviously be watching and following. Just for one thing, I'm a hockey fan too, and I mean, it's so much fun come playoff time, being able to experience it for myself, just playing in the playoffs, and I mean, just being able to watch every game I can. It's just, I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch. So, yeah.
When you watch, are you watching any particular players on teams to see like what they do and how they have success that you might be able to learn from, or are you just kind of watching to enjoy the game?
Kind of a little bit of both. Definitely like to watch and see what other guys are doing. See kind of being able to kind of evaluate the other teams, especially kind of watch maybe some certain plays that we run and certain things that guys do. But then with that, also just kind of watching just to enjoy it and have fun and just kind of see two teams battle it out.
So according to my calculations, you've made the playoffs 9 times as a coach.
Yeah.
This is the 7th time you've made the 3rd round. I mean, each of the last 5 times
Yeah.
the 3rd round.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say, but are you proud of that? I mean, you got to be proud of that.
Yeah, of course I'm proud of that. Yeah, I mean, I think I said it last night. I never take even getting in the playoffs for granted. I think my path into the NHL, where I missed the playoffs the first 3 years I worked in the league, you never take it for granted. And, I don't take those deep runs for granted either. And I think you look around the league and you see, franchises that celebrate a series win or, 2 series wins, to be in the Final Four, that many times is really a privilege. Just got to try and end up in the top spot one of these times.
Well, I know that's what matters most.
Yeah.
But I want to throw some other numbers at you, see what you care about, right?
Yeah.
Like 86 wins. You're like 1 win from top 10. You tied Coop for top 10. 17 series wins. That's 7th, tied for 7th all time with Mike Keenan. You're 1 behind John Cooper and Darryl Sutter. Like,
Yeah.
What do you care about? Like the series wins, the total wins, all of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
What matters to you?
Well, what matters to me is just is honestly the journey. When you get to go deep in the playoffs, and I obviously haven't won the whole thing, but whether that deep is a conference final or a final, you galvanize with a group and a team and a bunch of men together through that journey, because it's so hard and it takes so much sacrifice, both personally and on the ice. And that's just that's the juice that we coach for, and there's nothing better.
How much is a driving force in the room as well? I think you have 4 of the top 5 players in games played who haven't won the cup.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just seems like there's that. It's unspoken, but I mean, there's a drive there from these
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, it's unspoken, but it's there, and there's a lot of guys that would I think love to see those guys reach the ultimate goal. And there's some special people and athletes in that group you're talking about there. So it's definitely a motivating factor.
Hearing what Parisi said last night, do you feel there's a bunch of people around the league who are supporting you and these other players as well?
Yeah.
It just seems like there's a lot of good vibe out there for these players.
Yeah, you know what, the league is it's the best league in the world in my mind. It's the best place to work. And I said it last year when we lost to Vegas. If we couldn't win, there was a bunch of men there that I coached that I really wanted and hoped would win. And, you know, I think you see that around the league. If you can't be doing it, there's a lot of other people there that, you know, you develop relationships with over the years in this league that you would like to see win. So, yeah, that was special to hear Zach say that, obviously.
You get a couple of days off here between rounds. How important is that to your group in terms of rest and injuries and all of that?
Critical. I think if we'd have gone 7 again, you know, and moved on and started again, you know, 24 hours later, you know, I really think we're starting to run on fumes here at the end of this round, you know, and you can fill your tank up pretty quickly with a 4 or 5 day break. So critical break for us.
Does that mean you're rooting for Edmonton to win tonight and extend the series?
No, I'm just rooting. I was rooting for the fact that we finished this in 5 or 6, so that, you know, whether we're getting a break right now anyway. Whether it's 3 or 4 days or 5 or 6 days, we're getting what we need.
It's all speculation, hypotheticals, but do you think Rope could have played in Game 7, or that would have been a game time decision?
I would say doubtful.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I've answered this question going back to San Jose, but you love the particular challenge of the playoffs,
Yeah.
right? Planning for one team night after night, making adjustments. Like you get out.
I love that. Yeah. I love the fact that you're playing one opponent and you can dial in and you know, and for me, it's sifting through everything and finding the 2 or 3 things that are really important in your mind in the series to win, and making sure your team understands that and executes. And, you know, I thought we did this series against Colorado. For me, it was, you know, shutting down the rush, number 1 rush team basically in the league all year. I thought we did it wasn't perfect, but the nights we lost, we didn't. The nights we won, we did, and we did it enough to win the series. You know, and there was a couple other things in there that we concentrated on, but I enjoy that part of the planning.